Again, I express my impression, or how impressed I am by the fact that that Jason is such a likable character. I think that the writers did a really good job in a lot of ways, but especially with making the main character somebody who's knowledgeable, heroic, compassionate, but they never come across as, like, you know, hokey. Again, we have the opportunity of comparing that to newer games now, like Dragon Age Inquisition. And there's a lot of great things about that game, but regardless of how you chose to play your Inquisitor, there was kind of a strong tendency in his dialogue to come across as a little bit too, I don't know, gauche, perhaps, you know? I mean, every speech is, we must save the people from the darkness, you know, and it was just a little too on the nose, you know? Jason seems like a much more approachable kind of guy. He seems like a much more human kind of character. While at the same time, being a totally awesome dude, you know? I mean, he's obviously got plenty of combat prowess, but also just the way he deals with people, you know? He's just a cool guy. I'd want to hang out with him, you know? Alright, you guys' helmets and shields are far too large. There's no reason to have helmets and shields that big for your tiny little bodies. Check out that relief, huh?
These panels tell the story of the origins of the Golden Fleece. When this temple was first built, Athena herself inspired the artists. Would you like me to narrate?
Tell us the tale, Pan.
As you wish. When Zeus claimed dominion over land and sky, not all of the vanquished Titans were sent to Tartarus. Those who did not oppose Olympus were spared, including the brothers Prometheus and Epimetheus. These artful brothers were charged by Zeus to create both man and beasts to populate the new Olympian world.
And then?
Epimetheus worked first and created the beasts. He gave to each their qualities. The birds were given flight. The bear was made strong. The horse swift. The peacock beautiful.
Continue, Pan.
Prometheus then set about creating man, only to discover all the good qualities had been given to the beasts. Man would be a flawed creation. But to make up for this, Prometheus gave him two great gifts: an upright form in the image of the gods, and knowledge of fire, stolen from Olympus. With these gifts, Prometheus knew man would gain superiority over the beasts and the birds and the fish.
Go on.
Epimetheus was jealous of his brother's craft, not wishing to be judged the lesser by Zeus. And so he made one more beast, taking back all the qualities from the others and giving them to this new creation. When he was done, there stood a magnificent golden ram. Epimetheus boasted that man was inferior to his creation in every way.
What of this next panel?
Crafty Prometheus suggested they bring their two creations together to better judge their qualities. Prometheus knew that despite two great gifts, man also had vices, among them jealousy and a hunger for power.
Vice is shared by centaurs as well.
And then?
When the two were placed together, the man quickly saw that the ram was beautiful, potent, and completely trusting. Seeing this, the man fashioned a spear, slew the ram, and took its hide, which he then wore as a proud raiment.
The ram's hide is the Golden Fleece.
As old as mankind, a symbol of both his vice and his virtue.
So would the golden ram be considered the first hunt?
Continue, Pan.
The Titan brothers were sent to Tartarus. Prometheus for stealing fire, and Epimetheus for creating the ram. The gods of Olympus then argued about what to do with the fleece. Zeus wanted to destroy it, but Hermes believed it should remain in the world to ensure everything done could be undone. Ultimately, a compromise was reached. The fleece would remain in the mortal world, provided it was kept under the care of wise Athena.
Hermes would be the one to argue in favor of the fleece.
What of this next panel?
And so the fleece was kept here at Athena's temple on Kithra, guarded by her priests. Athena gave a drop of her divine blood to her first high priest as a boon to assist in this sacred duty. And so the bloodline of Athena was established.
There's a lesson for us all in that tale.
Well done, Pan.
The pleasure is mine.
An interesting tale, though no mention of women, I notice. If it was a woman placed before the ram, her ego would not have been so threatened, I think.
Come, let's go.
Cool. I wonder if that was the actual story of the Golden Fleece or not. I'll be honest, I don't actually know that myth as well. It was a compelling one. It was very interesting. I knew about Prometheus stealing fire from the gods, but I knew nothing about his brother and the rivalry between them.
3 more are waiting for you here, but these 3 do not know they wait.
There is one thing I don't understand, Strixa. Or should I say, Athena. Why make the people of Kithra wait all these years before setting them free?
And what should they have been set free to? A ravaged island? A shuttered temple? Their leaders dead? I have preserved my people, protected them until the arrival of someone who could truly save them. I believe you might be that person. Your resolve on your quest has shown me as much. Will you prove me right?
If this is your will, then I will try. What must be done?
3 more cases you must lay. 3 more judgments you must cast. The 3 who remain bear the burden of this island's fate. Phaedon, Perseus, and Medusa.
Where is Phaedon?
Phaedon is in the Hall of Philosophers, to the west. You must uncover the truth. Find out what part he played in Kithra's tragedy.
Where do I find Perseus?
In the Hall of Guardians, to the east. Perseus carries my blood, and so has not been preserved like the others, but he is in his own form of stasis. You must learn if he has the strength to bring an end to this.
The High Priestess. She is here?
She must be judged last, after the other 2. Only then will you be ready to confront the one in whom I place the greatest trust.
We will find these 3.
Remember, those outside could not be held responsible for the crimes that have occurred. They were worthy of being saved. Those inside the temple, however, must be judged by you. And be sure they will resist such judgment.
When did you figure out Strixa was Athena?
There's something strange about a little girl living alone in the swamp, is there not? Particularly one with gray eyes.
I knew there was something odd about her. She moved without making a sound. Where to, Jason? Phaedon to the west, or Perseus to the east?
We must deal with both before we're done. Come.
What a great water feature in here. This is awesome. I would love to have, like, a room like this in my house, you know, where it's just, we got a huge waterfall, we got these neat little inlaid channels. Such a cool place. And also, I like the characterization. I like the way they portray the characters. If you've read the Odyssey, you know Athena was very fond of taking on guises and always appearing as someone else, you know? And they've kind of upheld that in this game.
The Hall of Philosophers. Let all who speak within do so in the pursuit of wisdom and justice. Let speech come from the heart, and debate come from the head.
The Nisiros have a simple rule when it comes to speeches. Finish speaking before your audience finishes listening.
Another useful piece of advice. Let the learned speak. Let the wise listen.
Sounds like
Someone speaking. A group of people.
It sounds like a debate.
My fellow philosophers, the Golden Fleece was an abomination. It had no place in this world. Its theft, criminal though it may be, will serve the greater good in the end. This I promise you, or my name is not Faden!
You speak falsely. No crime can serve the public good.
Can it not? And shall we take a nameless stranger's word on that?
My name is Jason, and I say your speech is false.
Then we must debate, sir. That is, if you have the credentials to speak before such an august company.
Hear, hear!
Our custom demands that all who speak in this assembly first demonstrate a modicum of knowledge of the subject at hand.
Let there be questions, and let him offer answers.
Certainly you would have no objection to establishing your familiarity with the history of the fleece.
Aha! It's a good thing I listened to the whole tale.
A most rudimentary question. Who created the Golden Fleece?
The Titan Epimetheus fashioned the golden ram whose hide became the fleece.
He speaks true.
Ah, you are not wholly ignorant, it would seem. But let us press further. Here's a question any acolyte would be expected to answer. What two gifts did Prometheus grant unto man?
An upright form in the image of the gods.
And the other?
The second gift was sacred fire, stolen from Olympus.
He has it right.
Well answered, Jason. Perhaps a lucky guess? One more question to determine your worth. Tell us, who killed the Golden Ram?
It was man who slew the golden ram.
Indeed it
'Twas beauty killed the beast.
An excellent response.
A seed of truth. But does it lie on fertile ground, or cling in vain to rocky perches? It appears the stage is set for a vigorous debate. Shall we begin?
Faden, set the bounds of this discussion.
The thesis! The Golden Fleece is an abomination and has no place in the mortal world. The proponent, Faden, a humble servant of this temple and its high priestess. The opposition, Jason, an itinerant traveler from parts unknown.
Argument the first.
The fleece is an abomination. Was not he who created it, the Titan Epimetheus, cast down into Tartarus by Zeus for doing so? Clearly, the Lord of Olympus judged the act of creation to be evil and worthy of damnation. Can we not then infer that the product of that act is also evil and worthy of damnation?
A persuasive argument.
And yet a flawed one. Epimetheus' proud defiance of the command of Zeus was the cause of his undoing. How he defied that command is immaterial. His failing was due to a lack of...
crud. Wisdom, courage, or humility, discipline,
discipline. Rather than obey the orders given him, he cast aside his duty in foolish competition with his brother. It wasn't the product of the act, but the act itself that drew the wrath of Zeus.
Yes, your argument is sound. You have my support, sir.
Cool.
Pure sophistry. A clumsy argument to snare the feeble-minded. We continue.
Argument the second.
The fleece circumvents the will of the gods and the natural order.